Hi, everybody. Just before 2 o'clock, welcome back to Central Valley Talk. It is Thursday, the 15th of April. I'm Austin Reed. Hit me up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Austin Reed on Air. We're so happy you're with us today. We've had a bunch of live local guests, and we're going to get it continuing right now. Our next guests joining us live via Zoom. Give it up for Aspire Speech. Hello.
Hello there.
Humberto and Kathryn.
Yes.
Appreciate you guys taking the time to join us today. We've got a lot to talk about. First off, give us an introduction about what Aspire Speech and Learning Center is.
Sure. Aspire Speech and Learning Center has been around 25 years in serving the Valley, providing speech therapy services and tutoring services to a lot of kids who have learning challenges or those kids who just need to accelerate for some reason. So we've been doing it a long time and long career here. And
you guys serve all of Central California, right?
We do. Our clients come from as far away as Bakersfield to Merced.
Very good, very good. Now, Kathryn, what is your title with Aspire?
I'm the president of Aspire. I'm the founder also.
Wow.
So I'm a speech pathologist, yeah.
Okay. And Humberto?
And I'm the academic program coordinator.
Some of the things that we're going to be talking about today, number one, addressing the gaps in learning due to COVID. Who wants to take that question?
Sure.
Go ahead.
So COVID really shut things down, especially for kids. You know, they were put indoors, and then it took the schools a while to get used to how to do Zoom. And now that we're getting vaccinated and we're going back indoors, all of this moving around isn't really helping out the kids in terms of their education. And so I know that from the Learning Academy side of things, we definitely tried to help kids with any of the issues that they had and any of the things that they didn't pick up during this tussle. And we're really hoping to address that during this semester and during the summer so that when they go back in fall that they're able to be on par.
I think some of the kids that have suffered the most are the kids with learning disabilities. And so those kids always need the extra boost, and we have special programs that can really help them.
When is a good time for kids to really, really work on their speech?
Oh, boy. Well, our client population ranges from 11 months of age to about 90. So kids of all ages can work on their speech, and there's so many different things that can affect your speech and language, from just developmental problems to illnesses. So in fact, COVID has affected the speech for some people. So if there's a problem, that's the time to seek out extra help and come in and see about working on speech.
You know, I've got twin daughters. They'll be 5 next month. And it's very hard having twins because you tend to kind of separate them, or maybe not separate them depending on the situation. What are things to look out for?
Well, twins sometimes develop their own special way of communicating with each other, their own special language even, and there have been a lot of studies on that. And so I don't know whether your daughters are sort of coding to each other and having their own shared meaning, but sometimes also with twins, there are, just because it's a little extraordinary birth situation, there might be some periods of time where there was stress during the birth process, and so you have to wonder later on and watch to see whether there's some after effect in terms of lack of oxygen and brain development. It doesn't always happen. In fact, it's a minority of cases, but twins are a little bit more at risk for those kinds of things.
And you are going to be soon moving from online to in-person again for therapy and school. Is that right?
Actually, in February, we started seeing kids in person again because our staff was very proactive about getting vaccines. We are considered allied health professionals, so we got in line pretty early, and after the second vaccine, we started scheduling, and now 91% of our staff is fully vaccinated, which I feel very blessed to be able to say.
And that really helps the parents as far as comfort levels.
Absolutely. We were sort of fanatics
Hmm.
about keeping our clients safe and keeping ourselves safe. And I'm going to knock on wood a little here, but we didn't have any cases of COVID among
Amazing,
us.
amazing,
It was
amazing.
amazing.
I mean, going from online only to in person has got to make such a big difference with speech development.
You are absolutely right about that. Online actually worked better than we thought it would. And what the benefit was that we were coaching parents during the online therapy. So the parents became more involved in the therapy process and became really more active. That's a plus. The minus part of it, of course, is capturing the child's attention, uh, working in front of a screen, and not being able to physically hand things or
Mm-hmm.
maneuver things so that they're concrete. Kids live in a concrete world, and certainly the flat screen is not at all concrete for them.
Humberto, as one of the teachers, what are some of the biggest things that you see with kids?
So with the kids, so on the other point about having the kids come in, it's really nice to see them interact with us again, and to just be a little bit more lively now that there isn't that computer delay. A lot of the things that we deal with on the Learning Academy side of things is mostly dyslexia and issues with visualizing what people read. Like for example, there's kids who are very eloquent and are able to read and can read all of Harry Potter, but they can't tell you what happened. And so we address that issue by being able to help them figure out what it is that they're picturing when they're reading, and then with dyslexia, being able to break down just what every sound is and then how to spell things out properly.
As we are moving to more a digital world and texting, being online all the time, what advice would you have for parents to kind of take a step back and teach their children that you have to communicate still, not just doing this?
Oh boy. Well, as a parent, I'll speak to that one. I think you have to have zones where there's no electronics going at all, including TV, radio, or anything that would be distracting. And certainly dinner time is a good time to start enforcing that and having, if you have to structure a family conversation, everybody's going to talk about what they did today, or everybody's going to talk about what they'd like to do in the
Yeah.
future, maybe this summer. So you structure a little bit to get it going and to give them, some practice about what to say. But then you extend that time so that, okay, maybe one night a week you have a time where you sit down around the table and play cards, and the conversation is about that, and other things come up during that. So you really have to look at non-digital zones in terms of time blocks. We absolutely know that little ones who sit on screens for too long experience language delays.
Okay.
They don't know what language is for. Uh, they never interact using language. They're always on the receiving end, so they don't recognize that language is a means to an end and a way to build a relationship, because you can't build a relationship with a screen.
What about kids that are just shy?
Well, we do have we do have a
Okay.
lot of shy kids
Mm-hmm.
that come to our building, and I always tell the therapists that work here that really you're magical. You have magic powers, and you know how to build relationships. And so it's not the child's responsibility to get over their shyness. It's the therapist or the adult's responsibility to find a way in so that the child will trust you and open up and be enticed to come and interact with you. When they want to interact with you, the whole world turns around for them in terms of communication. So it's really an art. The speech therapy is science for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the art part of it, that is the relationship building and the understanding of who you're working with.
And Humberto, with you specifically working with both kids and parents together as a team, is that critical?
Oh, very much so. a lot of the process is just talking to the parents and asking them just what changes they see, even after a few weeks or a few months of doing the programs. A few of our programs are more on computers instead of paper and pen. And so with those, we're constantly keeping up with parents and saying, hey, I noticed that your kid did really well this day, and asking them what changed about that day, and then talking about incentives. So it's very much a team-based thing, letting the parents be more involved in the process.
We've got about a minute left. What is the future for Aspire Speech just in the next year?
Well, certainly we are looking to grow a little bit. I want to add some more therapists to the staff so that we can do even more services. Before COVID, we had around 200 clients a week, and we're approaching that again. But we know that the need is really great, and so being able to expand our services and maybe offer more evening services and Saturday services, so parents who are back at work can access what we're doing here. Also offering maybe some different packages that will bring kids in as groups. That maybe we all want to work on social communication. Okay, right. So let's get a group of similar age kids and make it a really positive, good interaction for them while they're learning all of those social interaction skills that maybe they haven't had a chance to practice or never learned.
You know, I will add that I was a shy kid. I know it's kind of a surprise working in broadcasting now, but one of the things that really worked for me in high school at freshman year, I joined the speech and debate and communications team, and that really skyrocketed my shyness to go away. Do you suggest, kids thinking about that? Maybe they're having issues with speech, join the speech debate team.
Absolutely.
Activities in general.
Yeah, no, anything that gets a kid out, and good for you for doing that.
Thank you.
Good for you. I mean, that's a big bite for a very shy person to do. But the skills that you learn in speech and debate at that level are just fantastic and really can launch you like they did for yourself. So it's the younger kids sometimes who it's harder for them to find those outlets. But even little social groups like Cub Scouts or 4-H groups or things like that, or even one-on-one play dates where there's maybe an adult helping, facilitating the conversation. Those kinds of things where there's a little bit of support and a little bit of structure can help a shy child really connect.
You guys are located where?
2505 West Shaw Avenue in Fresno, and we are in an office complex behind the Piccadilly Inn at Shaw and Van Ness.
Very good. And then aspirespeech.com, that's where people can learn more?
Yes, we have a website with lots of information. And we have a newsletter.
Oh, you do? Nice. Okay, great. And then, Humberto, if somebody, a parent's watching today and they want to connect directly with an instructor, can they reach you by email or?
Yeah, it's difficult to spell, but it's humberto.bejarano@aspirespeech.com. And then there's also the blanket email, which is grow@aspirespeech.com. And I also get those emails directly.
All right, very good. Humberto and Kathryn, thank you for joining us today. Great conversation.
Thank you. Good interview.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. All right. Come back anytime.
Thank you.
All right.
Have a good one.
You too. You're watching Central Valley Talk. We're back with more live local guests coming up in just a bit. I'm Austin Reed. Stay with us.